U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping tax bill failed to clear a key procedural hurdle on Friday. 5 hardline Republicans joined all 16 Democrats on the House Budget Committee to oppose the measure in a rare political setback for the Republican president in Congress. Texas Republican Chip Roy was among the hardliners demanding deeper spending cuts.
We are writing checks we cannot cash, and our children are going to pay the price. So I am a no on this bill unless serious reforms are made.
The legislation would extend tax cuts passed during Trump's first term. Congress's bipartisan Joint Tax Committee estimates the tax cuts would cost $3.72 trillion over a decade. Trump has highlighted measures including lifting taxes on tips and overtime that Republicans say would boost working-class Americans, while critics say the bill will offer more benefits to the wealthy. Republicans opposed to the bill said they would continue to withhold support unless Speaker Mike Johnson agreed to further cuts to the Medicaid health care program for lower-income Americans and the full repeal of green energy tax cuts implemented by Democrats. The vote came despite Trump's call on social media for Republicans to unite behind the legislation. It is likely only a temporary setback for the measure in a Congress that is controlled by Trump's Republicans, and so far has not rejected any of his legislative requests. House Budget Committee Chairman Jody Arrington said the legislation was important to voters who elected Trump to the White House and gave Republicans full control of Congress last November.
They want common sense policies, and they want from all of us a commitment to putting America and Americans first. Let's give the people what they voted for.
Democrats said the plan would benefit the rich while hurting working-class families. Here's the committee's ranking member, Brendan Boyle.
It is the biggest tax cuts for billionaires in American history, paid for by throwing 13.7 million Americans off their health care coverage. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office just this week confirmed that at least 13,700,000 Americans will lose their health care if the GOP bill for billionaires becomes law.
The committee is set to reconvene Sunday evening to reconsider the legislation.
The first direct peace talks between Russia and Ukraine in more than 3 years lasted well under 2 hours in Turkey, with no apparent sign of progress towards peace between the sides. Both are under pressure from US President Donald Trump to end Europe's deadliest conflict since World War II. The talks were held at a palace in Istanbul. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, speaking from Albania, told European leaders Russia must agree to a full ceasefire.
And if the Russian representatives in Istanbul today cannot even agree to that, to ceasefire, to this clearly necessary first step, then it will be 100% clear that Putin continues to undermine diplomacy.
The chasm between the two was quickly apparent, according to a Ukrainian source who told Reuters Russia's demands were detached from reality. They included ultimatums for Ukraine to withdraw from parts of its own territory in order to obtain a ceasefire, the source said. No major breakthrough was expected today, but the pair have agreed to exchange 1,000 prisoners of war each in the coming days, one of the largest such swaps since the beginning of the conflict. Zelensky said after he and European leaders spoke by phone with Trump that Ukraine is ready to take the fastest possible steps for peace. Expectations were dented further on Thursday when Trump, winding up a Middle East tour, said there would be no movement without a meeting between himself and Russia's President Vladimir Putin. Putin proposed the direct talks in Turkey, but spurned a challenge from Zelensky to meet him there in person. He instead sent a team of mid-level officials. The head of Russia's delegation, Vladimir Medinsky, said Moscow was satisfied with the results and was ready to keep talking to Kyiv. He said both sides would present in detail a vision of a possible future ceasefire. There was no immediate announcement on whether talks might resume or when.
Reams of tourists flock to the ancient Croatian city of Dubrovnik to visit Game of Thrones filming locations. But US President Donald Trump's threats to impose a 100% tariff on all movies produced outside the US have alarmed the entertainment industry. Some locals in Dubrovnik, which was also used to film Star Wars The Last Jedi, fear directors may no longer film there. Croatian film producer Igor Alexander Nola.
There has been a halt in the complete production that we planned for 2025 to 2027. First, because of the global scale of the economy. The stock markets are not stable. There is a big disruption due to the tariffs that Trump would like to introduce, and because of all of this uncertainty, part of the finances is actually on standby.
Central European countries and the Balkans have been used by Hollywood for years for their dramatic scenery, architecture and cheap filming costs. If a movie or series is a hit, those locations can become hugely popular with visitors. A Dubrovnik tour guide said the numbers of visitors there have hiked, with 1,000 tourists joining a Game of Thrones tour every day. New souvenir shops were opened and jobs created for tourist guides and locals assisting in film productions out of season. Without filming there, he said, the city would lose a, quote, big piece of the winter tourism pie. Trump did not provide details about the timing of tariffs. Dubrovnik's mayor, Mato Frankovic, said they have not yet had any cancellations of filming for US productions. He added that the city is also used for a number of European films, as well as by Bollywood.
The pilot that is assigned to navigate, the boat out of the water, I believe he lost. There were some mechanical issues that probably caused the ship to hit the water.
The coordination was extremely important, and it was executed to the best of our ability to minimize any loss of life. Our hearts go out to the family members, and many family members are going to be traveling here from Mexico. We want to make sure we collaborate with the ambassador and his team to give them the proper information.
Oh my gosh. Samantha, I would say let's go.